Hey, it's Matt Potratz. I'm glad you tuned in again. Yeah, man, I'm still fighting the allergy thing, but I think I'm finally on the repair or the mend, I guess you'd say. I went and saw my pharmacist and I said, hey, what do you take when you have allergies? I want to know what you take. And he gave me some good over the counter stuff. So I think that the best thing to take is whatever the pharmacist takes. So I should be good now. I spent a good chunk of time in the local schools here in my hometown this week for their final stretch of school before summer break. And I feel blessed with how well the students treat me and how well they respond to me. I regularly volunteer, and I'm also on staff as a substitute teacher. And a few times in the mornings before I took my first class, I've been warned by the office staff, you're going to have your hands full of that group today. And at the end of the day, when I'm asked, well, how was it? I'm able to respond with an honest answer saying, it was great. No problems to speak of. I think part of the reason that that's an accurate description of my day is because I've come to the understanding that my approach determines their response. First of all, even if I've been warned that they're a tough group of kids, I refuse to let that poison my thoughts about them because it would poison my approach. I simply walk in as if they're a group I've been with several times and as if they've always been respectful to me. When they begin to file in, I acknowledge them, say hi, and make conversation, treating them like citizens, not villains. Immediately upon the bell ringing, I speak up and lay out some ground rules. I tell them I'm easygoing, I like to have fun, that I'll do my best to make learning interesting. I tell them that respect is earned, and simply that if they respect me, I'll respect them. And if not, I'll ensure that class gets really boring in a hurry. And I end my little intro with something like, but I don't like boring, do you? And I smile. Then I proceed by approaching the lesson plan with a positive tone of voice, yet a tone that commands their attention. And at every opportunity, I interject some humor to make them laugh. Then, quite honestly, the stage is set. From that point on, few problems arise, and if any do, I pipe up with that same positive, commanding tone that isn't demeaning or belittling, and peace comes back to the camp almost immediately. Notice I didn't say demanding, I said commanding. There's a difference. Commanding is intentionally attracting a group's attention. Demanding is insisting it. There's a time and place for both. And please don't think that I'm bragging about my ability to control a classroom. That's not my intention nor my heart at all. I just think it's a great real-world example of how our approach really does determine the response we get. I can say with confidence that if I approach the students with a demanding and authoritarian attitude and belittling tone of voice, their response would be entirely different. I'm in enough schools that I get to see teachers approach students the right way, and I get to see what the wrong approach triggers too. The you've got to show 'em who's boss mentality needs to be put to rest. You've got to lead them. Bosses manipulate. Leaders motivate. I gained an understanding of this week's concept at a relatively young age. I started my career in retail sales and management at age 19, and it didn't take long for me to recognize that my approach to a customer absolutely determined their response to me, and therefore the outcome of the purchase transaction. When I eventually ended up in car sales with Toyota, this concept was an absolute. The customer usually came in with a stereotype in the back of their mind of what a car salesman was going to be like, and my unexpected approach often took them by surprise. I wasn't just thirsting for another sale. I was excited to build a new relationship. And if a sale eventually transpired from that relationship, then perfect. If not, I still made a new friend or acquaintance. At times, I'd immediately come up against walls that were up due to their past experiences. Sometimes they'd even say, I don't like car salesmen. Without missing a beat, my reply to that was, that's okay. I don't like car salesmen either. That's why I work at Rogers. Let me show you a different kind of car buying experience. And I continue to carry out my relationship approach and begin to determine their needs. At a 15 car per month average, I was well above the national average of cars delivered in a month's time. But I don't attribute that to my superior sales ability. I don't have superior sales ability. I attribute my success to my approach to every greeting, every test drive, and every negotiation. It was a non-confrontational, genuine, relaxed approach, and it solicited that very same type of response. Whether you're facing relationship struggles, family issues, parenting, or business transactions, I promise you that your approach will always determine the response to some degree. Make a poster of it, write it on your notepad, use it as a screensaver, or whatever works to keep it in front of you. Don't wait to discover it to be true after your approach solicits the wrong response. Remind yourself before your approach takes place that approach does determine response.